Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Katariina. Today we'll go through a sequence of Sun Salutations, which is a very foundational sequence in the yoga practice. Sun Salutations are great for warming up the body. They incorporate some amazing stretches, warming up muscles and kind of opening the body up, making it ready for a yoga practice or just ready for the day. So I personally really love doing Sun Salutations, and they traditionally also have been done in the morning, first thing in the morning. And after that you really feel quite energized, rejuvenated. So that's what I also recommend you to do. It's a great way to start the day, doing a few Sun Salutations. So we'll go through a few rounds of Sun Salutation A and B and add some variations in as well. So not just doing the very, very classical version of it. So yeah, and I really recommend if you do this and if you enjoy it, save the practice and try to do it a few times over, for example, the next week. Maybe try to do it every single morning. It's a very quick practice, so it won't take you long. And see how that feels in your body. See if you feel a difference there. Anyway, let's get to it. We're going to start standing at the very top of the mat. So you can bring your feet together here. Maybe take a big inhale, roll the shoulders back and down. And then find a really grounded standing position here. You can close the eyes for a moment, just gently tucking in the belly, forming a good posture in the spine. The back of the neck is long too. You can soften through the face and close the eyes. Taking a few breaths here just to ground down. Arriving onto our mats, arriving into our bodies. Maybe gently swaying from side to side, feeling all the four corners of the feet, grounding down, rooting down. Well, and then coming back to center, finding stillness. At the bottom of your next exhale, you can open the eyes. We're going to sweep our arms up as we inhale. And then exhale, fold over the legs. We inhale, lengthen through the spine, looking forward. Exhale, plant your hands onto the mat. We'll step into a plank pose. Now you can either bring your knees down or keep them lifted. I'll first bring my knees down to show this variation. We lower all the way onto the mat. Inhale into a cobra. Exhale, come down. Push back onto hands and knees. And then we tuck the toes under and find a downward facing dog. And we take 3 long breaths here. Breathing towards the very bottom of the belly. You can walk the legs out here too. Finding space in the hamstrings, in the backs of the legs, the lower back. Keep pushing the mat away. Gazing between the big toes. Take 1 more inhale. And you can sigh out the exhale. Good. We then come onto our tiptoes as we inhale. Exhale, bend the knees, and then you can either take a big step or a little hop towards the top of the mat. Good. Coming into a forward fold. Inhale, lengthen through the spine, look forward. Exhale, fold over. Then come all the way up to standing. Arms come overhead, extended mountain pose. Inhale. And then exhale, folding over the legs again. We go for a second round. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Plant your hands onto the mat, step into a plank pose. Now I'm going to keep my knees lifted. You can keep them lifted or lower them onto the mat. So we go through a chaturanga, upward facing dog if you're going through this version. And then downward facing dog. Well done. We'll take 3 deep breaths here again. Maybe now that you arrive into your second down dog, you might feel slightly more open in the hips, the back, the legs. Maybe the shoulders too. Feeling into those sensations. Enjoying the breath. Enjoying the movement.
One more full breath. And exhale. We then come onto our tiptoes as we inhale. You can look forward. Exhale, bend the knees, maybe hopping or stepping towards the top of the mat. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, fold over. Then coming all the way back up to standing, arms come overhead. And exhale, fold over. We'll go for our third round. Inhale, lengthen. Plant your hands on the mat. You can step back, knees lifted or lowered down. We come all the way down or halfway. Upward facing dog or cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. Good. Feeling the warmth build up in the body. Keep breathing here. Well done. Take one more full inhale. Exhale out. This time we'll add a bit of a variation into our Sun Salutation A. So we inhale the right leg up. And as you exhale, draw the knee towards the chest and step the right foot forward. We plant the left knee onto the mat, lengthening through the spine. The hips can sink a little bit lower. We then inhale, come all the way up into an Anjaneyasana. Finding space in the hips, the left hip flexor. Keep pointing the right knee forward and pressing the foot onto the mat. Inhale here. As we exhale, we grab opposite elbows and frame the head, frame the face with your arms. Maybe just slightly lifting up through the chin. And exhale. Take one more inhale here. And then exhale, release the hands down. We're going to frame our right foot with the hands and step into a plank pose, going through the vinyasa once again, whichever variation you prefer. Upward facing dog or cobra, and downward facing dog. Good. With our next inhale, the left leg lifts up. And then exhale, hug the knee forward and step the foot between the hands. The right knee grounds down as we lengthen through the spine. Good. Then with our next inhale, coming all the way up, arms reach overhead, length through the sides of the body. Good. Pressing the left foot into the mat to square the hips, inhale. And then as we exhale, grabbing opposite elbows, framing the face. Just a slight back bend, maybe lifting through the chin. Good. Inhale. And then exhale, release the hands down, framing the foot. Step into a plank pose, knees down or lifted, whichever you prefer. Lower halfway or all the way down. Upward facing dog or cobra. And downward facing dog. Good. Take a full breath here. And exhale out. Then coming onto the tiptoes as we inhale. Exhale, bend the knees, step or hop forward. Lengthen as you inhale. Exhale, fold over. Then come all the way up to standing, arms come overhead. And this time hands come to heart center. For a moment you can close your eyes. Take a few breaths here. Dropping the shoulders down. Returning to the breath in case you maybe lost track of it for a moment. Dropping back into your practice. Take one more big inhale before we move into Sun Salutation B. And exhale. With our next inhale, we're going to sit down into a chair pose, sweeping the arms overhead. So see if you can really sit the hips low, keep a long spine, moving the hips back and down so that you can still see your toes from behind the knees, and the arms are long. Maybe you can even gaze between the hands. You can bring the hands to meet if you like, or keep them apart. Keep breathing here. Good. Take one more inhale. And then as we exhale, we forward fold over the legs. Lengthen, inhale. Stepping back into a plank pose, vinyasa. So choosing your variation. If you feel like at this point you want to lower the knees down, feel free to always do that. And downward facing dog. With our next inhale, the right leg sweeps up behind us. And exhale, step it between the hands. We now turn the left foot behind us, preparing for warrior one. Inhale, the arms come up just for an inhale. And exhale, they come back down. We step into a plank pose. If you feel like at this point you want to go straight into a downward facing dog, you can do that. Or lower down through a vinyasa, upward facing dog, and downward facing dog. Also, child's pose is there for you at any time you might need it. We'll continue moving with the left leg lifting up behind us. Inhale. Exhale, hug it towards the chest, step it forward. Turn the right heel, inhale, arms up. And then with the next exhale, they come down again. Your choice, vinyasa, down dog, maybe child's pose, you pick. We all meet in a downward facing dog in a few breaths. Good. With our next inhale, come onto the tiptoes. Exhale, bend the knees and then come to the top of the mat. Lengthen as you inhale. Exhale, fold over. Then coming back into a chair pose, inhale the arms up. And this time we add a variation. So hands come to heart center and we'll twist towards the right. So the left elbow comes all the way over the right knee or the thigh. And then you can turn your gaze up towards the ceiling, over the right shoulder. Keeping the knees in line, keeping the hips squared. Well done. Take an inhale. As you exhale, fold over the legs. Lengthen, inhale. Plant your hands onto the mat, step into a plank. You know what to do, your choice. Upward facing dog or cobra, or skipping the vinyasa altogether. Downward facing dog. Inhaling the right leg up behind us. And then exhale, step it between the hands. We come into a warrior one again. Inhale the arms up. This time as we exhale, we bring the hands behind the lower back, interlace them there, and open as we inhale. So drawing the shoulders back and down. And then with our exhale, coming into a humble warrior. Good. Take one more inhale. And then as you exhale, coming a little bit higher to release the hands, step into a plank, vinyasa, downward facing dog, or child's pose. Your choice. We all meet in a downward facing dog. Take a full breath here. And exhale out. We then come onto the tiptoes. Exhale, bend the knees and find your way to the top of the mat. Lengthen as you inhale. Exhale, fold over. Then we come back into a chair pose, inhaling. Exhale, hands come to heart center and twist towards the left. Right elbow over the left knee. Check with the knees and the hips. Make sure everything's squared. And you can start to gaze over the left shoulder. Breathing. Final inhale. And then as we exhale, we release to center to a forward fold. Lengthen, inhale. We meet in a plank, vinyasa, or downward facing dog. You know the options. Upward facing dog or cobra. And downward facing dog. We then reach the left leg up behind us. And exhale, step it between the hands. The right heel turns. Arms lift up as we come into warrior one. And then drop behind the lower back. Interlace them there and open with the inhale. And then exhale, fold over. Inhaling here. And then exhale, come a little bit higher, release the hands. Bring them onto the mat. Step back,
Flowing through Chaturanga or all the way onto the mat. Upward facing dog and downward facing dog.
Well done. Take a full breath in and exhale out. You can then release your knees onto the mat, sitting over the heels. You can release your hands onto the thighs, onto your knees, and close the eyes here for a moment. Keeping the spine long, the shoulders pulling back. Maybe feeling your heart racing. Maybe your breath is quite quick too. Dropping back into those sensations. Maybe feeling the blood flowing. The heart beating, the breath flowing. Beautiful. So this is a really great way to either start your yoga practice or to start your day. If you feel like you want to keep moving, feel free to do that. Maybe you want to continue with another video, or then you just want to continue your own practice. See what feels best. You can also finish with me right now. This was the perfect practice for me personally for this moment. So I'm going to bring my hands to heart center, expressing gratitude for the movement that I'm able to do. And then bowing our heads towards the hands. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining me for this practice. I hope you enjoyed it. So a quick energizing one. Like I'm sure you've noticed, that wasn't the most classical sun salutation sequence we went through. So we added some things in there. And if you like, you can also add whatever bits and pieces into the sun salutations that you like if you want to practice this in the future. So I really urge you to try and do this as a daily practice. If you enjoyed this and if you'd like to practice with me more, I really welcome you to subscribe to my channel, like the video, maybe leave me a comment, let me know if it was helpful for you. I post weekly flows on Thursdays, so I really hope I see you here next week too. Thank you.